Hi, I'm Andrew Wasson. Thanks for joining me for my weekly guitar blog. It is October 11th, 2015, and this week we're going to do a lesson covering a minor pentatonic guitar solo. This week's question was sent in from Danny. He's out in Wilmington, Delaware, and he wrote in with this email. I just finished working through your lesson called Major Pentatonic Guitar Solo, and have to honestly say it was the most fun I've had in a long time learning something on guitar. Andrew, I think you're onto something with this lesson format, so I'd like to request that you make another one, but this time covering a minor pentatonic guitar solo. Thanks from Danny in Wilmington, Delaware, USA. Well, hey, thanks for writing in, Danny, and thanks for letting me know how you felt about the major pentatonic guitar solo lesson. I know that my students really enjoy working on those kinds of exercises as well. And you know, when a student has a guitar solo for practice that stays within one key and uses one scale type, it's an excellent way to learn how to not only develop the scale effectively, but also for learning more about the chord harmonies used inside of a particular key. So what I'm saying is that these studies are both good for learning the scales, and they double as really good rhythm guitar studies as well. So what we're going to do next is zoom in on the neck and start running through this minor pentatonic guitar solo. Well, this guitar solo is going to be built from the tonic note of E, and only uses the scale tones of the E minor pentatonic scale. Now, in the first four measures of this 12-bar solo, we're going to set up a lead part that covers the chords of E minor to B minor to A minor. And the solo's initial phrase is going to begin on the second guitar string's 8th fret. It's going to use some scale tones from the upper section of the 5th string root E minor pentatonic scale layout. And basically it's going to have a little bit of an extended range in there as well. We're going to go as high as the 12th fret B on that second string. All right, so what's going to happen first of all here with the first phrase is we are going to start on that 8th fret of the second string and balance out across the root there to the 9th fret a third. Do a grace note slide up on the first string from a D to a E, that's 10th fret into 12th. Dropping back down to that D, and then coming into the B note on the second string, 12th fret. Then what happens next is we have a 32nd note hammer-on pull-off phrase with a slide. It goes like this. So we have that fast movement. That's really quick. Here it is a little slower. And here's how the first two measures sound together. All right, now let's take a look at the ideas that are happening in the next phrase of the solo here. It operates more between 7th and 5th fingerboard positions. The scale tones are also going to get used in a more along the neck fashion rather than coming from more of a straight or a strict vertical scale format. So here's what happens in those next two measures. We're going to start on the 9th fret of the 3rd string, and we're going to jump over to the 9th fret of 4th, going E to B, then jump back here to a D, coming in again to the root there on E. Here's where our position jump happens. We're jumping over to the 5th fret of the 4th string. And then it resolves over there on the 5th fret E the 5th string, 7th fret E down below. So we have that resolution like so. So here's the second half of the phrase again, measures 3 and 4. And here's all the measures played together. Well, in the next 4-bar section, we're going to head over to the lower 5th string to start things off. We're going to get going with a run off the 5th guitar string at 5th fret at a D note there. And the run is going to take us downward along the neck into more of the second position here. And then what's going to happen after that is we're just going to carry on to the 1st guitar string. And this run is going to be kind of cool because it uses simple sequences to generate kind of a stacking style of sound, sort of a build-up type contour with the melody. And so these first two measures are going to sound like this. And what's happening there is we're just taking some of the E minor pentatonic out of that 5th position layout, jumping down into the 2nd position with the E minor pentatonic off of that 2nd fret of 4th string. And that wraps up those 2 areas. It's pretty straightforward. You can hear how it all blends together. It's a D, E, D, A, G, and then we have E, G, A, B, up to a D, over to B again, sliding D to E, and then we have a G to an A on the top. Right, so that's the first 2 bars. Then on the 3rd bar, we have a small E minor and a G major double stop. So double stops are just 2-note chords, but they do bring about harmony. So having an E to a G creates a E minor sound. Having a G to a B, it's a major 3rd, creates a G major sound there. So we have those 2 chords in that 3rd measure. And then at the end, we have this nice lick. And what happens there is we've got some more 32nd note ideas happening. And then we just have some resolutions there. Those 32nd note ideas are happening off of a D and an E at the 10th and 12th frets of the 1st string. Coming into a B there on 2nd, A, and then finally wrapping up on a G. So the second half of that line is pretty straightforward. So I'm going to play the whole line now, just give you a chance to hear how it all fits together. All right, so that's the next 5th through 8th bars, and what we're going to do next is head into bars 9 through 12. In the final 4 bars of our solo, we're going to use a number of really good lead guitar concepts to finish off the melody with. In the beginning here, we're going to just apply some 6th intervals from between the 4th to 2nd guitar strings. And it's going to start up at 8th position, drop down through 7th, and then finally into 5th. What's going to happen here is we're going to just start on the upbeat of 1. We're going to have that 9th fret 4th string played. And then we're going to have an 8th fret on 2nd string, come at the downbeat at 2, then the upbeat at 2 is going to have a 7th fret 4th string, then 7th fret 2nd string. Then we're going to move down, have 5th fret of the 4th string to a 5th fret of the 2nd string. So in counting it through, it's going to go like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now that 4th beat, that 5th fret E at the end there, it's a quarter note, so it has a little longer sustain. Now, the next thing we're going to do is have a double stop riff idea with the 4th interval played at the 4th and 3rd guitar strings up in 7th position. What's happening here is we're just barring across the 4th and 3rd strings at the 7th fret, and then we're going to do a hammer-on, and next after that into the 9th fret of 4th string. And that's the double stop riff. Really straightforward, kind of sounds a bit like a Hendrix lick. Then we're going to head over to a G and then wrap up at an E note. So we have the 5th fret 4th string G and then the 7th fret of the 5th string E to wrap things up. And that's the 2nd measure. Now to finish everything off, we're going to perform a really quick minor pentatonic scale run from the 6th string up to the 2nd string. It's a really fast run, but I'm going to start off by playing it for you at a little slower speed. It goes like this. Okay, here it is a little faster. Okay, a little bit faster yet. So these are really cool ideas. I remember when I was going to the Musicians Institute and had a couple of chances to sit in a room with Paul Gilbert. You know, this is just sort of stuff that he's amazing at. He just seems to come up with 100 of these at any given point of time. And they're really a lot of fun to get into your playing. And, you know, even if you learn a few of them, it'll kind of springboard you into a whole bunch of other ideas as well. But, you know, with that fast sounding run there, it's just a matter of memorizing and understanding how you're moving through the scale. It's kind of a lateral movement. We're sort of there in the beginning between 5th and 6th strings, and then we come back into 5th, and then we drop into the 4th and kind of do an exact, you know, duplicate of what we just did. But but then we're sliding forward at that point. So we're making our position shift on the 4th string quickly from the 7th fret into 9th fret. Then we're just doing one more hammer-on pull-off idea, the 3rd string, to sort of wrap things up. And then at the very end, at the 4th measure, we're just going to come along into an 8th and 9th fret idea between the 2nd and 3rd strings with a full step bend that we sustain at the end there. So we're bending 10th, so it sounds like the 12th. We want that full step sound. Because what we're really doing is we're bringing a note that's not really a chord tone for us at the moment, and we're going to bring it up into a B, which is going to be kind of an extended tone on the chord that's going on at the moment there. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to play all 4 of those measures down for you so you have a good idea how this all fits together. Remember that we're missing the downbeat of 1, so it'll go 3, 4, 1. Now, another thing that's really important, and I sort of neglected to talk about it through the 5th through 8th bars of our guitar solo, and didn't give it a lot of weight here in the 9th through 12th bars of our solo, but it's the idea of following the chords. There's kind of a lot of chords to this jam that I have here, and I really want to stress that, in your spare time, as you're checking this out, maybe on my blogger page later, make sure that you really put some effort into understanding how these chord changes fit together, because this is a great rhythm guitar practice, aside from it being a really good way to execute, ideas technically for your solos and all that. But anyway, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to fire up my jam track, and I'm going to play this whole solo from start to finish, all 12 bars for you, so you have a really good idea on how this whole thing connects together. Well, if a guitarist is going to spend their time learning scale patterns and developing technique to play them, they need to start applying that information as soon as possible. And while learning a few licks and a couple of riff ideas can be a pretty good start, down the road it'll be through learning those longer guitar lines that combine several licks and longer melodic runs into full solos that'll really end up challenging the student and eventually bring their guitar playing up to a much higher level of skill. So I hope the Minor Pentatonic Solo here helps get you started on the right path. But don't stop here. Learn as many guitar solos as you possibly can. It'll help with so many areas of your playing, and in the long run, it'll be so well worth it. Anyhow, that's all the time that I have here for today. As always, thanks for watching. Have yourself a great week. Please subscribe, and if at all possible, please consider giving a donation to the Guitar Lessons Project here. Every little bit helps. Have yourself a really great week, and I will catch up with you next time. Bye for now. I'd like to take a moment to mention another guitar video lesson project I've started. It's a unique guitar lesson approach that I'm doing online, and it's not like anything I've done before. Best of all, it's 100% free. I've called this approach Guitar Micro Lessons, and they're a great way to learn a few new licks or riffs or chord shapes each week. Now, these Guitar Micro Lessons are quick and easy to learn from. They're very short, with each lesson running between only 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes in length. They're published to YouTube from Monday to Thursday on my other Guitar Blog Update YouTube channel, and you can either subscribe to that channel to guarantee getting each new episode, or just visit the channel whenever it's convenient for you and check out the new micro lessons in the playlist on the Guitar Blog Update channel's homepage. My Blues Guitar Styles ebook is a masterclass course covering a huge amount of information with 8, 12, and 16 bar blues progressions, classic blues styles, plus all the important chord patterns. There's over 50 pages of information, including sections on blues techniques like slide, alternate tuning, and bending. This ebook has everything the guitar player needs for a solid foundation in blues guitar, including 27 MP3 audio tracks for easy at-home study. Blues Guitar Styles is available for instant download in the View Our Products area at creativeguitarstudio.com.